r/ProRevenge.
You steal my identity? I steal your cars. I just recently found some of the revenge subs around here and spent a chunk of my weekend reading the amazing posts on r/nuclear revenge. Last night, my husband and I were visiting with our neighbor on our patio and I told them about one of the posts https://www.reddit.com/r/nuclear-revenge/comment/seek/how_got_a_ho_disbanded_ and/. Our neighbor then shared one of his non-nuclear revenge stories and gave me permission to retell it here. Names have been changed to protect the guilty. Our 40-something neighbor Frank Smith has a brother 3 years older named Fred, with the two similar in looks and build. Apparently these boys were not obedient children and got into trouble a lot. Frank, mostly, straightened up by the time he reached 21, but Fred kept at it, with drinking, drugs, multiple DUIs, etc. While the two were still living at home with their parents in their early 20s, Frank happened to leave his wallet on the kitchen counter one night after coming home from a night out. The next morning, he discovered his ID wasn't in his wallet. Thinking he must have left it at a bar the night before, he tried locating it but with no luck. Not thinking much about it, he just got a new ID. Fast forward a year or so and Frank gets a phone call. It's his uncle whose son works at the county jail. Fred had been arrested and their cousin happened to see him when he was getting booked, under the name Frank Smith. Turns out Fred had given the police Frank's name and ID, and was going to jail under Frank's identity. Needless to say, Frank was pissed. He went down to the jail to prove he was Frank and Fred was a liar. Fred was ultimately sentenced to serve time and stayed put. During the time that Fred was in jail, Frank received a letter in the mail from the state BMV. It said that his two vehicles, an Audi sedan and a VW Bug, were due for e-checks, emission checks. Frank was confused because he only owned a truck. He went to the BMV and discovered that these two vehicles were indeed titled in his name. That's when Frank realized that his brother, who had lost the right to own a vehicle due to excessive DUIs, used his identity to register these cars. The revenge. Frank asked how much it cost to get duplicates of the titles, $8 each. So he paid $16 and walked away with title documents for the two cars. He knew enough of his brother's friends to start calling around in search of the cars. Lo and behold, he located them both, at different locations. Frank is a knowledgeable mechanic and could start these cars without keys, but he knocked on the door of each house where the cars were. He explained to each person that he owned the title to the car, showing them the document, and gave them the opportunity to remove their belongings from the vehicle before he took it. They understood and didn't push back, taking their things out of the car and handing him the keys. Frank proceeded to sell both cars and pocket around $3,000 for all his troubles. The good news is that after his stint in jail, Fred got sober and became someone Frank could actually be friends with.
A response to the post.
Reminds me of my two older brothers. We all got our social security numbers at the same time, so they were sequential. My black sheep brother used Square Peg Brothers' identity and SSN whenever he was in trouble until SP changed his SSN without mentioning it. Next time BS got pulled over for something minor, he ended up going to jail for identity theft.
A response to this comment.
I didn't know you could change your SSN.
A response to the post.
$3,000 for an Audi and a VW?
Oh, peace response to this comment.
I didn't ask but assumed these were old and not well cared for cars. Fred certainly couldn't get a loan. He had to pay cash and wouldn't have much not already earmarked for booze.